Hydration is key.
It's kind of interesting because it's almost like the idea of building your own home, right? Like there's so many elements that you didn't even realize you have to think about, and then you're so invested in it. You're putting your time and your money and your energy in it, and so you really want to come to a consensus together. Talk to me about the tools.
New tools! It's an oscillator. You ask me what an oscillator does? I have no freaking clue, but apparently I can cut straight into the wood. So we're gonna use this to angle shit out. Wow, that's loud. And it vibrates like crazy.
So other than that, the other tools we have, what's to your right?
Might have so. This cuts wood. Will be our take-around tool.
I think it's the only tool that we actually really intend on buying, eh?
Yeah, because then like we can cut any angle that we need or not angle or whatever while we're on the road. We can fix stuff while we're on the road and kind of get to whatever we need to get to. And it comes with attachments like for sanding and whatnot. So this will be our multi-tool on the road.
All right then. We just bought a tool at a garage sale this weekend. Jigsaw. Thank you. And so we're trying to keep the costs really low by borrowing. We're like in Ottawa to have a tool library. We've been trying to figure out pretty much the measurements of everything around us. It's still very vague and abstract for me, and I have tendencies to be like, oh, we'll see. But the reality is that we kind of need to figure out those measurements pretty early on. We've done most of the wood framing around us, and so the next step is going to be the insulation, and then we're going to put the plywood on top of it. But we already have to think, where are going to be the most support? So where are we going to be putting our bench, and where are we going to be putting the cabinets and things like that? So we initially had made, Brent had made a beautiful little drawing about what we were planning on having as the layout. And then here we are playing around with measurements, and we realize like we won't fit. We realize the cabinets are too low, we realize the benches is too high and stuff like that. So we've kind of just been trying to mimic it and really just go as we, figure it out as we go.
158.
So this is what we're making. These lovely little holes, and this is going to be holding our walls and our cabinets and our benches up. And hopefully we measured properly, right? Hopefully.
The whole measure twice thing just takes a lot of time. First wall. Second wall. Electrical. Over the last weekend, ran a bunch of wires kind of under the floorboards here, mostly identified just for the heck of keeping organized. They're running underneath this board here, basically just following the tracks. And all of our kitchen stuff through here because our kitchen happens to be on the opposite side of the van. Just running along the wall. I covered this up because of the spray foam that should be happening. This will be leading into the cupboard around here, and that is for the water pump. Just a little bit further down that same line, here we have two connections for the convection oven that I'm hoping, or convection cooktop that I'm hoping to have set up on the kitchen, and also for the fridge. So I have both the connections for the fridge and the oven there. Leading through that same little space, but up the wall, I have a 18 gauge. The other gauges are 14 because they're larger appliances, but this one's the 18 gauge wire for a light that we're hoping to put underneath the top cabinet. Through basically the same conduit, but I don't know where I wired that one actually, but up here we've got the fan, the extractor fan. We do have a vent already in the back, but that vent doesn't have a fan in it. At the same time, if we're going to be cooking here over the convection top, I want the fumes of that to be able to kind of go straight outside. So going back over to the original electrical, basically where my electrical cabinet is going to be, that's where all the wires are going to be here. Like we're going to have I'm going to have the cabinet running here. This is pretty much the wires for all of this side of things, which includes my wires up to 2 LEDs that are going to be on a dimmer back here, and we're going to have another 2 LEDs running this way on a separate switch. So that's kind of going to be the main area, not on a dimmer, just a switch. The dimmer's in the back. I also just have a string running in a conduit because eventually we're going to put in solar as an initial kind of money saving tip. We're not going to put the solar up, we're just going to put a shore power connector, so something to plug into a wall, and we're going to use the alternator from the motor. Same concept, but this we actually ran the wires for the fan. So this is again just a vent, not a fan, but we're likely going to switch that into a fan eventually. Initial money saving tip, we're going to leave it as a vent for now, but come time to when we want a fan up there, we'll be able to buy it and wire it relatively easy because the wires will already be in place. Behind this little wall, popping out this way, where I basically ran out of conduit, but at the same time they're going to be sprayed into place so they won't be moving much. I ran wires for a light. I'm going to hopefully put a reading light that's kind of on a swivel so that we can have just a reading light if you want to read in bed, but also a light that'll be able to light underneath the storage bench whenever we're in the back and we're trying to access the storage in the bench. And also a USB outlet so we can have some power again when we're on the outside of the van in the back. Let's say we have the doors open, we're hanging out and we need power, we'll have it. Otherwise our only electrical panel will be here, which is not accessible from the back. So that's our wiring.